When you think about how you place yourself and the linkages to where you are, don't say, I must be in the oil and gas sector. There are other sectors where you can play a leading role. I'm proud to share with you that as Stanbic, we are working with the Petroleum Authority to unlock these and to understand them deeper and to bring more clarity as to where the value is and what you can do to plug into that value. It is unfortunate that our agriculture study is not yet ready for sharing to the public, but when it is, we promise, and you can hold me to this, we will share with all of you the work we have done to demonstrate that even if you are a farmer, regardless of where you are, you can play into the oil and gas sector and you can create value for yourself and for your company and for your country if you play into this role. So these are the different sectors, all of which are important, all of which have players already existing, and all of which will contribute, whether directly, indirectly, or induced into the economy. We note that there are many other sector studies that have already been done. I am personally proud of the education one. You can see that even if you're a school owner or playing in the education sector, there's a role for you to play in the oil and gas. Yeah. So find those linkages and come and we can talk about how we support those. So this is the gist of the conversation, friends, really, that if you put together, and I must add that these numbers are not a scientific study. These numbers are a collection of our customers' different linkages. So it's not an economic empirical study. It is a number that we have come up with that is an aggregation of our clients' inputs. But we think it's a fair indication of where the opportunities are and the size of those opportunities in the different sectors. Now, as I move to the next slide, in the interest of time, I also just want to mention a little bit about Stanbic and how we have positioned ourselves to be in this oil and gas. So originally, we've always been a bank in this country. But back in 2019, we started to change ourselves, and not to open an oil and gas station, but to say, how do we change where we are to be able to play an important role in the oil and gas space, right? And I thought I'd share with you our history first. We have been here for 116 years. And on the continent, we are more than 150 years. And in all this time, and in all the sectors that we're playing, we've done a lot of work across the continent in this particular area. And Stanbic Uganda is not any different from the rest of the group, where we bring global international expertise of the work we've done, whether it's Nigeria, Angola, Mozambique, South Africa, to mention but a few. This is work we have done. And you have seen over the years, we have been changing and evolving to suit the opportunity that's before us. And there you can see at the bottom that in 2019, we started to talk about a journey that changes us from being more than a bank. How do we rearrange ourselves to be able to maximize the opportunity on oil and gas? So we changed from being a mere bank into a holding company, and we strategically chose different spaces in the oil and gas sector to play. All of our subsidiaries have been designed and engineered to participate and share and unlock opportunities for Ugandans in the oil and gas sector. I will start with the bank. We remain the largest financier, and we will continue in this role. To that end, we have a specific oil and gas unit within the bank that does nothing else but talk about oil and gas. We talk about Stanbic Properties is another one where we've partnered with a PAU to say, this oil and gas story, how is it going to change real estate in Uganda? First of all, what is a real estate requirement? Where is it going to be? How much is it going to be? And how well are we prepared as Ugandans to participate in this industry? Once that study is out, again, we will share with all of you to say X number of warehouses will be needed, X number of office space, so that you, as the private sector players, are then able to play into this sector. I will speak more about the incubator. Incubator is one of our pride and joy, and you will have seen Tony, Mr. Otoa, if you can stand up and wave to the crowd for the work you do. Mr. Otoa leads our incubator business. It is a free of charge training, because when we started this journey, we were cognizant of the fact that there is no way Ugandan entities are going to wake up in the morning and be ready to participate in the oil and gas sector. They have to be prepared. They have to be trained. They have to be explained to what the standards are and shown how we can make use of these standards. So that is what our incubator business does. We've also opened our SBG Securities, which is about investments and capital. If you're looking for capital of a different kind opposed to normal financing, and development of digital solutions and development of asset management businesses, you will find that in our SBG Securities. FlyHub is our digital business that does the same. So what am I saying to you in this? That it doesn't matter where you are or what business you're in. You can morph and change into what is the oil and gas opportunity presenting itself to be and where can I play. I use the Stanbic example because, you know what Baganda say? Omto Germany. Yes, that is the example that is closest to us, and it's our example that I can give, that it doesn't matter where you are. There's opportunity, and the linkages are clear. The linkages are direct, and you can change yourself or morph yourself into that which suits the organization. I want to spend some time on our incubator, just to share with you the capacity building and the work we're doing there. So, we started with one center, and this is this is relevant for everyone in this room. And if you're looking for capacity building, if you're looking to be explained to what must I do? Yes, I sat in the conversations yesterday. I saw the opportunities. Yes, the big majors came and told us this is where they are financing, and this is where they are giving opportunities for Ugandans. Yes, I have registered my company onto the national register. What then? Where else do I go? Where can I go? What can I do? This is what our incubator business does. It's about building local capacity. I must add that we do not charge a single cent for this facility, and it is not limited to Stanbic customers only. It is for everybody. As long as you're a Ugandan and you're looking to learn and develop your skills in the oil and gas sector for yourself and for your business, you will be welcome in our incubator. We started with one center in Kampala, but as the story is evolving, we now talk about 5 centers in Mbarara, in Hoima, naturally, in Gulu, in Mbale. And why do we do this? You remember where I started our conversation about sustainable growth. Sustainable growth must be broad-based. So we must create opportunities for the people in Mbale to participate in the oil and gas story. The people in Gulu have a role to play in the oil and gas story. Of course, Mbarara, Kampala, and Hoima as a natural place. But every single one of those areas, if given the right capacity, has a role to play. Our job is to create that linkage and to drive that. I'll share with you an example of the work we're doing in Hoima about food. We've partnered with a company called Pure Grow to say, if you're looking to produce fresh vegetables and fruit to supply the camps in the oil, and don't look very far. Don't grow the fruits in Kenya and track them. What about if you enabled the people in Hoima and the surrounding areas to produce the fruits of the quality that the oil and gas majors will take? How about that? Wouldn't that mean sustainable growth for all of us? Wouldn't that mean a broad-based growth for all our economy? And that is the work we're doing, that at the very local level, or what has now come to be called local, because there's local content and there's a local content, or the work in the communities. This is the work that Stanbic Incubator is doing. This is the work that we continue to do. We talk about standards. Tony hosted a series on standards. What does it mean? What are the oil and gas standards? It doesn't matter if your name is on the register, if you comply with everything. If the standard is not where it should be, my friend, you will remain exactly where you are. So our job is to teach you about the standard so that you can adopt that standard and be able to comply. As I close, I'll share with you our achievements thus far. We started in 2020 on this journey, where 516 companies have gone through our incubator. In 2021, we had 667 medium and small enterprises also participating, with over 2,000 individuals being trained in the oil and gas, agriculture, and manufacturing. In 2022, we're aiming for 1,000 SMEs. We've already done more than half of that as at half year, and we intend to complete the rest of the year. We have 200 farmers in the Albertine region. So it doesn't matter how small you are. Let's say you have an acre. Can you produce cabbage at a good quality so that you also participate in the oil and gas story? If we keep this to just the people in this room, we will have missed a big point. Our role is to broaden as much as possible and to share that indeed it doesn't matter where you are, there's a right to participate and there's a good part of the work that you can do to be able to participate. So as I close, and I know as a banker to stand before you and not talk about the most important matter seems a bit funny. So I'll talk about the financing part. Yes, we are open to financing, and there's a broader, much deeper conversation this afternoon on financing, which we must put into account. There's another part that I also want to speak about before I close, which is the environmental, climate and environmental. These two are very important. We live in a world where we must protect the environment. So you cannot do business and expect that those environmental things, they're just details for those people. They touch you as well as a local content participant, and it's something you must create room for in your business. It is not nice to have, it is a must. You must take environmental concerns into account as you build your business. And to that end, I'd like to thank, again, our policymakers and our lead companies into this, because they have put it at the center and they've done the right thing throughout this journey. So again, PAU and your team, please, a hand clap for you for the work you do and the continued excellence in this, that we can't, it will again be negative. Remember where we started, sustainable growth. It has to be sustainable. And therefore, matters of climate and environment must be part of what we do. I'm not saying we should stop what we're doing. No, we can take considerations as we have. Already it's written. Standard Bank has issued a climate policy. We will lend based on that climate policy. We will inquire and request our customers to fall into that policy because all of us have a role to play.